interesting experience. 14 men invited me to come to meet with them in a hotel in Newport Beach. There were 14 multimillionaires who had made it. I mean, in all forms of financial wealth, they had made it. They had their fleet of ships, they had their fleet of airplanes, they had their yachts, they had their homes all over the world. And they invited me to come to this meeting. Well, I was excited because I thought they might want to share. So I went and I said, well, do you want me to prepare anything to speak? No, I think you'll know what to speak on when you get here. I thought, well, never happened like that before, but that's fine. And they were actually going to pay me, so that was even finer. So I went over to the hotel, the big suite. We sat around a table, and I still didn't know what else to do. They introduced me. I said hi to everybody, sat me down, and then the head of the meeting said, okay, Bob. And Bob started talking. And Bob began to tell the story about how he'd invented this filter system. And through these filters, he had created patents that he will be living on the rest of his life, and his kids will be living on the rest of his life. And at that time, it's like $9 million a year. Well, that's pretty impressive kind of numbers. And I said, whew, that's good. And maybe he needs a chaplain. I had no idea what he wanted. And all of a sudden, he began to cry. He just sobbed. And I got uncomfortable. You could tell the whole room was tense. And he now explains how he has all of this, but he has nothing. He's lost it all. He's lost his family. He's lost his wife. The only friends he's got is the guys around the table, and he said, and half of them don't like me. I mean, that's how he presented the whole thing. I felt sorry for him, and I could tell the rest of them kind of felt bad. And then he got a hold of himself, and he nudged the guy next to him. The guy next to him starts telling a story. Brought us right back up. He'd made millions. He was doing well and had a home in Athens, supposedly over a bluff there. I remember that. I thought that was such a neat thing. I'd just been to Athens just prior to that, and I asked him about it. He told me it was really kind of a neat opportunity. And then he began to cry. I thought, this is a catching experience here. Every one of these men who seemingly in all magazines and newspapers and anybody who would know them say, he's made it. He's got it. Man, he's got it all. Every one of these grown men sat there and cried, some sobbed uncontrollably. And then they looked at me and said, what do you think? I said, well, I feel a lot better than when I walked in the room, I can tell you that. Man, I'll never forget what I said. I said, I feel rich. And one of them came right back and said, yes, and we are as poor as can be. Riches. As I've grappled with that experience over the years, I've always tried to find a way to explain riches a little better. Because I'm convinced that people have spent most of their lives trying to get it, trying to accumulate them, figuring out what to do with them. I've never had trouble making money. I've had trouble holding on to it. I have a cash flow problem. It seems to flow through me. And I have found something. I don't know who to blame for this, but I have found that when I get some extra money, when somebody pays me money they owed me, I thought they never would pay me. When I get some extra money, I've learned over the years, don't spend that quickly. Because it's just come in, possibly from the higher power, to say you have a big bill coming up that this will be useful for. And certainly it comes in, and if I spend it, then I'm broke and I have to go pay this big bill that's coming up. So I found the 2-week wait is a real good move. When you get some new money and it comes in, I just kind of hold it. Look around, duck, don't answer the phone, things like that. Because it's there for a reason. But we're into a situation in our world where just in the same way people go after riches in a shallow way, our whole lives are part of this shallowness. I want to read something to you that I have just was given this material, and I love it, and I wrote some things around it, and I feel like it's got something that may be helpful in setting us up for this roadmap I want to talk to you about. More doesn't mean better. More seems to mean less. We have more recovery programs than ever before, but more people addicted than ever. It's an age of paradoxes. We have taller buildings, but shorter tempers. Wider freeways, but narrower viewpoints. We spend more, but have less. We buy more, but enjoy it less. We have bigger houses and smaller families, more conveniences, but less time. We have more degrees, but less sense, more knowledge, but less judgment, more experts, but more problems, more medicine, but less wellness. More doesn't mean better. We drink too much, smoke too much, spend too recklessly, laugh too little, drive too fast, get too angry too quickly, stay up too late, get up too tired, read too seldom, watch TV too much, and pray too seldom. Can I hear a good moan out of you? Whoa. Thank you. That helps. I just felt the tension building there for a minute. You know what I'm saying? Some of you are about ready for a heart attack. Hang on. It gets worse. We have multiplied our possessions, but reduced our values. We talk too much, love too seldom, and lie too often. We've learned how to make a living, but not a life. We've added years to life, but not life to our years. You could almost do a seminar on each one of these. We've been all the way to the moon and back, but have trouble crossing the street to meet the new neighbor. We've conquered outer space, but not inner space. We've done larger things, but not better things. We've cleaned up the air, but polluted the soul. We've split the atom, but not our prejudice. We write more, but learn less. Plan more, but accomplish less. We've learned to rush, but not to wait. We have higher incomes, but lower morals. More food, but less appeasement. More acquaintances, but fewer friends. More effort, but less success. More doesn't mean better. We build more computers to hold more information, to produce more copies than ever, but have less communication. We've become long on quantity, but short on quality. These are the times of fast foods and slow digestion, tall men and short character, steep profits and shallow relationships. These are the times of world peace, but domestic warfare. More leisure and less fun. More kinds of food, but less nutrition. These are the days of two incomes, but more divorce. Of fancier houses, but broken homes. These are days of quick trips, disposable diapers, throwaway morality, one-night stands, overweight bodies, and pills that do everything from cheer to calm to kill. It's a time when there's much in the show window and nothing in the stockroom. It's a time that is continually erupting and moving far too fast. It's like we're riding in the caboose on a runaway train with no one at the controls. Maybe this is why you hear and you see on the bumper stickers and hear it said quite often, that horrible statement, life's a bitch and then you die. Why wouldn't anybody embrace that, knowing what we know? What's the good news in society that can make it any different? I like what Scott Peck said when he opens his book, The Road Less Traveled, by Life is Difficult. That's the issue. Now, in understanding that, I want to tell you a story that kind of sets up what I want to say today, because I'm convinced that if you get this into your life, it also has something to do with your soul and filling up that hole there. There was a man named Brooks who died and was ushered into the streets of heaven. He was so excited about being there, but Peter was insistent upon taking him on a tour to show him everything. He walked him up and down the streets of gold, and he saw what he never expected to see. Not mansions, not huge mansions. We better get rid of those pagers and other things too, by the way. Not mansions, but he saw warehouses everywhere. Warehouses everywhere. Huge, massive warehouses. And every one of the warehouses had a sign on it. And as he walked up to the sign, he saw it had a person's name. Every warehouse had a name on it. Every one was a personalized